We'll call a meeting to order. I need a motion to accept the minutes of December 9th, 2020.
I move approval of the December 9th, 2020 meeting.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any Any opposed? Seeing none, it's passed. Do we have any communication reports or anything?
Yep, so we got the monthly operating report for December. So there's a couple attachments I put in this time just to go over some things. I'll let Russ switch them and then.
Let me just get to that now.
Yep.
You got to go over the operating report.
Yeah, and then we can just scroll down to the graph after that. All right, so the monthly operating report, removal efficiencies were 98.4, 99.1%. Total nitrogen removal was almost 80%. We were a little over the limit, mostly because of the 3 storms that we had in December. The flow was, we hit 13 million on Christmas Day, so we were flowing quite a bit. And cake average was 22%. We can go to the graph.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, if that storm affected us at all.
So I always get a ton of questions on the nitrogen, and so I figured this is kind of the easiest way to be able to see it. Can you guys see it, or is it not up yet?
Coming up.
Okay. All right, we can stay on that real quick too, Russ.
I'm going to try and get both of them.
Okay, perfect. So if you look at the graph, what you're basically looking at, the red line is our permit, what we're allowed, which is 178 pounds per day. And the orange line on the very bottom is typically what our nitrate is running with a normal flow condition. And then I put the blue through November and December, which was when we started getting the storms. You can see the peaks from the rain. Mm-hmm. And then the green is the pounds that were affected from the rain. So basically what you're looking at is the green line and the blue line, and they're pretty much exactly the same, just apart a little bit, obviously because of the values. So every time that the flow goes up, even though our nitrate at the plant isn't changing, the pounds are changing because the formula includes the flow to the plant. So if you look at the actual formulas I put on the second page Russ has, if you see 8.5 million gallons a day, that's the flow that we averaged on Christmas. And your 6.2 is your concentration of your total nitrogen. And you always multiply that by 8.34 pounds. So with the process at the plant staying exactly the same, the pounds of nitrogen on Christmas Day was literally 3 times higher just because of the flow. Yeah. So it's kind of just like a snapshot of what happens. So if your permit's 178 pounds, at our 2.8 or 3 or 4 MGD flow, we're well under it. You can see on the graph. But the second you hit 8.5 without any process changes, it triples the flow. So it kind of puts it in perspective. Any questions on it, or?
Can everybody see both screens?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So basically the removal at the plant stays the same, even though we were doing a 13 max flow that day, but the pounds that we use to do the state reporting makes it change. And you can see that on the formulas that we use.
So what happens when we go over the permitted limit?
You basically pay, it's not a huge credit, you just pay a little bit, but we've been under so much this year that we're only over 40 pounds, which, to put in perspective, last year this time we were over 70 pounds with normal flow. So it pretty much offsets any difference that we had. And the flows are starting to come back down, but it's just more proof to kind of work on I&I and any infiltration that's coming into the plant.
Okay.
And Mark, how long did it take for the plant to recede? after the storm on Christmas and the day after?
About 3 to 4 days to, I would say, acceptable levels. But we're coming down now to about 4.2 average, which is very close to our average. We're probably normally around a 3.5. So we're just coming fully down now, but I would say it was up about 6, 7 MGD, 8 MGD for about 3 or 4 days. And we did run, if anybody was curious, we ran half the tankage that we have at the plant at 13 million, and the plant handled it very well. So I expect it could handle 24 million without an issue. We might be surrounded by water, but the plant will still be running.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That's right. You might be an island there.
pretty much, it'll be like a moat.
Yeah.
So any other questions?
Good, all right, let me go back to the agenda now.
Yeah.
Okay, the engineering report.
Once that pops up, I'll start going over it.
Yeah. Second, what, that, the agenda dropped off. Yeah. Okay, are we good?
Good.
And we'll go to the engineering report.
So High Road Pump Station, we sealed a groundwater leak in the flow meter vault. A lot of that was from all the rain that we had. We also got the driveway cracks. At Batterson Park, we installed new fuel supply lines, and this basically connects to the bracket we put on the muffler to support it while we had the vibration while the generator was running. We prepared the pump chamber at Oakland Pump Station to install the new pump and motor. It's actually going in this week. We're going to rebuild the existing pump and use it as a critical spare, and also work towards replacing the INC panel. That's, I believe it's 28 years old there.
Where is that Oakland pump station?
At the end towards West Hartford, where the reservoir is. If you drive down,
Yeah.
there's a gas station on the left.
Yeah,
It's right on the left there.
Right
It's right
next
on
door
the-
to the gas station.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Pump station upgrades and collection systems. We installed the fuel line brackets on December 3rd. Flight was on site the first week to inspect the vibration we had coming from the VFD. And Elm City Electric, which was a subcontractor for Baltazar, is just double checking the louver's range of motion just to make sure there's enough air coming in when the generator is running. We replaced 4 air brake cans on the vac truck, and ball valves were also replaced on the jetting system. We also installed a rubber hose on top of the vac truck. This is for the suction lines that we use when we're basically cleaning out any storm drains or lines. We almost are done with the INC wiring for Tungus Road. That was the last station that we had for the INC upgrades. As of this week, we're done with it. So next month I'll report. I'll have some pictures of it. Repairs and maintenance at the treatment plant. New lockout tagout forms were put in all buildings for the new year. We pumped out rainwater from the primaries and the finals to prevent freezing when they're offline. All the odor control filters and lines were drained. The differential pressures were checked. We inspected, basically pulled all the UV modules. New grease and gel was applied. We'll put them back on in late March for April 1st, which is when we start disinfection. Basically every winter we go through them, check everything, clean everything. December 27th, the screenings conveyor faulted due to high flows. We just had a ton of, basically whatever was in the collection system got washed out and came into the plant. We had about 2 hoppers full of sand and debris, but we got everything out. It worked. We didn't have any major issues. And that goes into the grit system. We had a couple of rocks get jammed in the auger, but we were able to reverse the system and restart it. We sandblasted and painted the radiator and oil cooler on the new tool cat. And for the plant upgrades, we installed a new pipe extension and support bracket for the effluent flushing water. We were getting some water hammer on the new system because the pressure changes when it goes to the screenings, but this should help it. And after the storm we had in Christmas Day, we started working with NIC systems to automatically adjust grit set points during high flow events. So right now, before a storm comes, we will increase the grit pumping in lieu of how much rain we are expecting. This will allow it to do it automatically based on the influent flow. And we're doing it for really, really cheap. We had the INOs in the program to do it, so we're just adding a tag in. And that's about it, unless there's any questions.
So I guess we did okay with all that snow and rain.
Yeah, we did very well. Like I said, I in my 6 years, 13.1 was the most I've seen. And again, I was running half primaries and only 2 out of 3 finals, and we had no issues. So,
Oh, by the way, congratulations on your award.
thank you. I appreciate it. I said you guys are a big
Very
help
well,
too.
I see we had some lateral work repairs done on Farmington Chase and South Road.
Yes, Farmington Chase was on December 10th, and it was a repair of an existing, and South Road was connected on the 9th, and that was, I think, a repair of the existing lateral as well.
Yeah, those are two repairs to laterals. One was broken. And one was clogged up and they replaced the second.
Now, is that the homeowner's responsibility or is that ours?
Homeowner, property owner's responsibility.
Typically, we'll jet the main line if there's an issue or we get a call. And then if it's in the lateral, that's the homeowner's responsibility.
Anybody got any questions?
So the Quarry Road apartments were pushed back until the end of this month, I guess, for TPZ.
Yes, they had some comments. There was a intervener entered into the equation now, a next door neighbor with an attorney, so they're pushed that back a little bit to answer his questions, and it'll be slowly going through the process.
Okay.
I see they finally did a lot of work on Munson Road. They've been
Oh, on
putting
the
a
corner?
lot of pipes in, and I see storm drains and sewer lines going in.
Yeah, they put all their underground infiltration system in. They did a lot of site work the last couple months, last month or so. So they're moving along too.
So do we have anything else we have to,
One thing while I have everybody, Mark and I were going over the budget today to get ready to send it to you guys for next month, and then we'll have our public hearing in March. We're looking at a 0% increase. We're running flat again with the 2% increase we had last year. We're carrying right through, and for now, I think we're in good shape. We have our numbers have changed a little bit when you see it as far as chemicals go. We're reducing our chemicals for the most part. Salaries have gone up. One of the things that went up are our salaries. We have an extra pay period this year, so that was probably one of the bigger increases. The bonding for Patrick Flood and Stanley Works is dwindling down. We're in the last 4 or 5 years of that. I think 4 years left, so that's been reduced. But no real major changes. We put with a little of the reduction, we increased our capital. We're looking to increase our capital by another 100 and $25,000. So that's a good thing. We're going to have that at like 1.325 million.
Now, we
Good picture.
mentioned, this is Jim, we mentioned because of the storm, it kind of really exposed, how much the I&I affects us. Do we have any projects that are in mind here coming up?
Yep.
Yeah, so when we discussed the budget, we went over some of the pump stations and lines, and we already identified some stations that leak just because of age, and they have quite a bit of I&I, so we're going to start with those, and then we're going to continue on to the lines.
We've got after this budget getting approved, we'll have about $1 million for repair sewer lines again, roughly a little less, maybe at 900 and change. We're going to put that money to use as doing some sewer lining. If you remember, a couple years ago, we did Wells Drive replacement, full replacement, because it was the majority of the pipe was cracked and damaged. We have 3 areas that we're looking at to do some lining to it. So we'll get the biggest bang for our buck. If you remember, for Jim, I think you're the only one back when we did the lining projects back on Colton and High and Hatters and Meadow and Garden.
Mhm.
Took out with those 3 projects, we removed 150,000 gallons a day just from II. So we're looking to do the same type of thing here, and it was relatively cheap. It was a low-cost project to get a pretty good bang for your buck for a reduction in infiltration and inflow.
Didn't we have that big lining job off of Route 4 there where we had the sinkhole and through the
Hillstead?
Hillstead, yeah.
Yeah, we just finished that onto High Street in November this year. So from the jug handle all through the Hillstead and the High Street is all lined. So, and then we're going to focus on a couple other streets we have, and then some wet wells as well that have quite a bit coming in.
How about the next pump station? What's on tap for that?
We discussed that this afternoon also. There's probably 2 that I would focus on. One purely for age would be South Road because it was 1969. But we did do new pumps and we did do a new INC. And then we are going to line the wet well. So at that point, it should be pretty safe. Harlan Road or Allstate would be 2 that we would look at next.
And we'll keep banking money for those projects. We have, we're putting in $625,000 a year into the banking for that, for the pump stations. And after paying for Batterson Park pump station, right now we'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 plus another 600 going in for this upcoming budget year. So go ahead, Jim.
So as far as our reserves, are we trying to keep that at a certain target or?
It continues to grow. We're keeping it right now. We are about we have basically 2 years of revenue. If we didn't take in any more revenue, we could run as is for 2 years. So we've got somewhere around $9 or $10 million in the bank.
That sort of sounds more than we've had in quite a while.
It is. We're doing quite well. The good thing is with keeping our number where they are, we're able to bank money and pay cash without having to go back to our reserve. So we may hold off. We may spend a little bit of money to do put some belts and suspenders on something. Like Mark said, we're going to line South Road pump station, the wet well. It's about $15,000 to $18,000, but it may buy us 4 to 5 more years, where we end up just keep banking the money to pay cash, so we don't have to take out a reserve.
Right, but I guess I think there were some earlier discussions about we got to be careful that it doesn't get too high, though.
And I talked to Joe about that earlier this morning, and he didn't seem concerned about it at all.
Okay.
And as
Well,
far
that's
as
good to hear.
and as far as replacing the pipes, is that a project for 2021?
Which pipe would that be, Kevin?
Replace, you had said that you had wanted to go out to bid to replace some antiquated pipes like that you did on Wells Drive.
We're looking at, instead of replacement, we want to do lining.
Lining
Lining projects, yeah.
Line.
Because the pipe networks are good, they're in good shape. It's just the joints may be leaking, or they aren't necessarily cracked. Like Wells Drive, it was, the pipe was inverted.
They were crushed and
Had a crushed, a big crack right down the top of it. So
right.
we couldn't line that one. So
Okay, these are for relining then. And in
Correct.
fact, that would be 2021.
yes,
Yep.
that's what we're going to look to do. It's a real good bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And it keeps it, it impacts the integrity of the pipe where it lasts for another 50 to 100 years, and your capacity is only diminished by a small percentage, because the liner itself is maybe an 1/8 inch thick.
Yeah.
So it works out well.
Okay.
So,
Anybody else have any questions they want to ask?
Good.
Are we all set, Russ?
I think we are good.
Mr. Chair, can I make a statement?
What?
Can I make a statement, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Mark, again, on behalf of the town council, congratulations on your award. We really appreciate all your work, everything you're doing for the town. You have a great team with you. And obviously, you're a great reflection of your boss above you there, Russ. So thank you very much for everything.
You're too much.
I appreciate it as well. I mean, without the commission, we can't do a lot of the things that we do. We wouldn't have the money to do it. So it's a huge influence with you guys too.
So thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
And then Joe, that you're going to be a rock star when you come back with the WPCA budget, for the town council. So
That's what I like to hear, my friend. That's going to get me right over the top again next November for my election.
Just don't make it stink.
no increase on our part.
I like it. Like I always tell them, everything's flowing great for us. So let's keep it flowing.
Yeah, no, it's good. And like I say, the one thing we've been diligent in with the WPCA support, that without having to do all these increases in our rate, and we're still doing very well financially. And we did the big pump, the plan upgrade, which is based from all of the town. But talking with some other, local plants, there aren't many. There are only a couple that I've talked to are in financial shape as we are. So it's a reflection on everybody on the WPCA.
You're doing a hell of a job too, Russ.
I don't want anything like that at all. I'm just a pauper. I'm just pressing buttons here, Peter.
Hey, we got to give you some credit. Come on.
Don't go crazy.
Oh no, I won't send you any gifts.
But no, so we are, I've talked to other people and they're like, you have how much? And you have how much in the bank for, not only with our reserve, but with our capital project money, with that banking. There are some plants who are skating by. I would not want to be in their shoes.
Oh, they can't even upgrade a station. They have to. And
Right.
we're preventing that before it gets to that point. So
Don't publicize it to Avon, that's all.
No.
Yeah, they may want a loan.
I'll give them a loan at 50%.
They can't pay what they owe now. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we're good. We're in really good shape, and I'm happy to tell you guys that we don't need to do another increase in our rate, and we're doing fine. So
Well, that'll make the taxpayers happy.
yeah, no, we're good.
Good.
All right.
Well, if we don't have any more business, we need to have a motion to adjourn.
That's it.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye, aye, aye. Okay. No opposed. It's passed. Guys, have a good week and good month.
Good job, Pete.
Stay safe.
Happy New Year.
Likewise, thanks. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.